So this is quite a decent undercard for tonight. Some people are complaining, but it's decent. It's not the best, but it's an alright undercard. And I believe the first fight on the undercard, Fraser Clarke versus Justice Huni, I believe this is going to be extremely one-sided. Justice Huni potentially by late stoppage, if not on points, is what I believe is going to happen. I just don't see how Fraser Clarke can have any success in this fight. His last performance against TKV was extremely poor, and him changing his trainer in a way makes it look as if it was his trainer's fault. But it was him that decided to use so much of his energy in the early rounds, thinking that he'll just get an early stoppage. That didn't look like it was the game plan. That isn't a sensible game plan at all, and it looks pretty much like he did his own thing as TKV was able to get into his head. With this fight against Huni, Huni's movement, Huni's power as well. I believe his power is quite underrated. People say he doesn't hit hard enough. He's been against Wardley, who has a chin, and I don't believe Clarke has the same chin as Wardley. And I think that's shown in recent fights. This all comes down to Huni's discipline. He just needs to not allow himself to get caught with anything silly again, especially if you're cruising through the fight. I don't see Clarke keeping up with his speed, his pace, and his movement. And I just feel he's going to get outboxed for most of the fight. And there may be some success from Clarke, but that will only come, in my opinion, if he has the lack of discipline and allows himself to just get caught with something that he shouldn't be getting caught with. So Huni should win by decision or late stoppage, in my opinion. And I believe with the TKV Richard Riakporhe fight, I can't believe this is actually a gift from the bookies. Like how how you could have Richard Riakporhe as such a favorite is just crazy. Like Riakporhe's not beating anyone of note in the heavyweight division. Like he couldn't beat Chris Billum Smith in the second fight he had against him. He apparently was injured in that fight, but he's very limited. Like there isn't much he can do if you don't stand right in front of him, and I believe it will be the same as when TKV fought David Adeleye. And TKV was winning that fight up until he was able to land a free punch. And I don't think, hopefully, there's nothing as controversial as that tonight. But I believe TKV is just going to outbox and potentially play with Richard Riakporhe. I don't think there's going to be anything that he can do to CKV that he hasn't prepared for. Like he's quite one dimensional, so he's just trying to land that punch that can change everything. And CKV just needs to use his jab as he was doing against Adeleye in their fight. And I think towards the end, I believe Richard Riakporhe is going to get tired if this goes past at least 7 rounds. I don't think he's going to have the gas tank because all those muscles are not beneficial in later rounds in boxing fights. They're just not. Now, with the Ben and Progress fight, I think it's just going to be a sad fight to watch because if Progress is actually injured, and Ben is going to be rehydrated to at least 170, it's going to be just a one-sided beatdown, and it's not going to be nice to see because not only is he getting 15 million for it, but this is a fighter that's done something for the sport, and he's just an age fighter now being just used as fodder. So I think this. Some people think that Progress will stop Connor, and hey, that will be a surprise because I just can't see it happening. Like it sounds like wishful thinking that Progress also has never fought at this weight. I don't think he's going to be much stronger. I just think he's going to be healthier. I can't see this going the distance just based on the way Conor Ben fights. There's not been a lot in the build up for this fight between the fighters, so that might take a bit of the aggression out of things. But I just believe once that bell rings, I just think he's just going to go for him. And there may be times where he's caught by Progress with certain moves due to his experience, but I believe that it's just going to be a matter of time until Ben just is the younger fighter here, and he's just going to take him out. And yeah, he's being paid 50 million for that. Like, Some people criticize him for it, but who else is getting 50 million for such an easy fight? Now, by logic, Makhmudov should just take out Fury in the early rounds, but it doesn't work like that. It's not that easy. Makhmudov is in winning form. He has confidence that he's probably never had in his life in boxing. And Fury will need the early rounds to get his rhythm. And he simply just needs to not allow him to get his rhythm and just make this into his fight and not allow it to be Fury's fight. I don't think he has the IQ to do that. And I don't think he's defensively blessed to do that as well. Even against Allen, he was getting caught with certain shots and he doesn't move his head. Like he just doesn't have the movement on. I don't think he's as slow as people are saying. Like people are saying he's slow. Like Ngannou, for example, didn't have to be quick to drop Fury. He just had to do the right move, counter punching him, and it succeeded. And in a way, if Ngannou can drop Fury and Makhmudov cannot, that's a terrible look on Makhmudov. And some say, oh, Fury didn't train for that fight. He was overweight. Now, he's meant to be an elite fighter, so he shouldn't really have to train to fight an MMA fighter in a boxing match and avoid getting dropped. He shouldn't be dropped in the first place. He should be of that high of a level where he shouldn't be getting dropped in the first place. But he did get dropped. And I just feel that this is going to be one of those fights where there's potentially a robbery. I feel Fury is potentially going to get beaten up for some of the fight. And in those rounds, the judges are still going to give it to Fury. They're still going to say he won a round where he got knocked down in. Like, it's going to be that kind of fight. I hope it's not. But I could just see it going to points and Fury winning regardless of how the fight looks for Fury.